Hello, everyone. This is your Professor 8-Bit coming right back at you. Today, I happened to see a video 2 days ago of Mr. Rich from Review Tech USA, and I respect him 100%. And this is, of course, another opinion versus another opinion. But yeah, hear him out real quick, and then I'll kind of butt in a little bit on what he has to say on a couple subjects here. Enjoy.
We've heard this rumor probably 100 times before, but now that we have even more evidence, we pretty much know what the Switch is capable of, and it's somewhat concerning. I'm not going to be as doom and gloom as I was before, but I'll explain to you why I'm still concerned after I go over the two key specs. There'll be a full article below in the description if you want to get into the nitty gritty. I just want to talk about the CPU and GPU, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to read right from here so I don't make any mistakes. The CPU powering the Nintendo Switch CPU is a quad-core ARM Cortex A57 with a top speed of 2 gigahertz and 2 megabytes of L2 cache. And it's capable of running the ARM V8 64-bit instruction set. However, this is where things get a little concerning. Developers will only have access to 3 of the cores. One of the cores needs to be running the operating system in the background. So 3 cores on a mobile processor is a tad bit concerning. You know, this chip is somewhat underpowered to begin with, and then they're taking away one of the cores. Developers only have access to 3 cores. It's not like they're hyper-threaded cores. They're just 3 physical cores they have access to on a mobile chip. Ooh, that could leave developers somewhat limited. Okay, that could limit their resources just a little bit. The GPU, these leaked specs confirm what we kind of already knew. It's an NVIDIA Maxwell processor, so pretty much we could say that anything with Pascal inside the Switch is not going to happen. It's a dead issue. It's going to have 256 CUDA cores, like the Tegra X1 that's in the NVIDIA Shield TV. Running at a maximum of 1 gigahertz and capable of a little over 1 teraflop of compute performance. Again, lining up with the Tegra X1 chipset that NVIDIA had in the NVIDIA Shield TV. It has a texture rate of 16 pixels per cycle, a fill rate of 14.4 pixels per cycle, and yeah, it's the Tegra X1 chipset. It's Maxwell. Pascal, not happening. And they're, like I said, they talk about audio, and we already knew about the 720p screen, stuff like that. If you want to know the nitty gritty of this leak, you can check out the article in the description below.
As far as the specs, yes, they're old. I agree. Using the the NVIDIA Tegra X1, which runs great, by the way, and only using 3 cores, yeah, that would be a little hard on the developers. I agree on that too. But not really. Not for the type of games we're going to get. I'll explain a little later, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. But the one key thing that we all know, and you've mentioned or will mention in this video later on, is that all the games are at 720p. At least when it's on its tablet form. As a PC gamer, that makes a huge difference. When I'm playing my games at 4K and I'm having problems with it, I'm struggling with it, I bring it down to 1080p. And my games run huge differences. I mean, it makes a big difference, especially from 4K to 1080p, or if I get from 1080p to 900p, and then from 900p, 7. Every time I do that, the performance goes up. So, if we're able to see good performance out of 1080p games on the NVIDIA Shield console, and they're at 1080p most of the time, or somewhat, and they're running great. Imagine if you had it locked at 720p at all times. They'd optimize it just for that resolution, and we see great performance, which I'm already seeing with The Legend of Zelda and Mario Kart, which looks almost identical. You'd have to put kind of a... I think I've heard that if you put it on the screen, you can kind of notice the difference between the two. But when you're playing it on the tablet on the go, which most of the time I think will be used for, you could hardly notice it. But honestly, specs for something like this, it's not going to be a problem. I don't think. I'm sure of. Yeah, I'm sure.
So how do I feel about this? I'm concerned. Here's the thing that people need to understand. I know that people get at me with this, okay? Rich, who cares about third-party support with Nintendo? If I want other games from third-party developers, I'll get a PC. I'll get a PS4. I'll get an Xbox One. But that's you. That's you, okay? People just want to buy one system and know all of their games are there. I don't know how many times I need to say this. And you can't say the Switch is cheap. It's not bank breaking, but when it doesn't come with a game, you have to buy a game, which I've said before and defended Nintendo with. Sony and Microsoft, when they launch their systems, don't include games, but still, it doesn't come with a game. People are going to need to buy accessories, controllers, and cases and things like that. It's still a decent investment. It's still a hefty financial investment. And people sometimes just want one system that they can get all of their content on. They don't want to be like us and go out and buy a PS4, a PC, an Xbox One, and a Switch. They may just want the Switch. They may just want the PS4. They may just want the Xbox One. And if the Switch doesn't get that third-party support, maybe because it simply can't because it's underpowered, that may turn people off. They may want a system where they can get the first-party games and third-party games, and so they may stay away from the Switch. But now let's look at the Switch from a glass half full perspective, okay? Yes, it's only a Tegra X1 chip in there, but this is a console from Nintendo. This isn't a tablet. This isn't a TV box which runs a version of Android on it. This is going to have custom software, a custom UI. It's going to have its own development kit so developers could dig down to the metal and possibly get a significant amount more performance out of it than if they use the same chipset in a tablet. So maybe we possibly can see games like Dark Souls 3, which has been rumored to be working on the Nintendo Switch. So maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Also, Nintendo this time around has done an excellent job marketing the Switch. So that may save it too. That's what gives the Switch, in my opinion, a fighting chance. They're showing adults playing the system. They're showing how the system can be played on a train. It can be played, you wake up in bed and like they show with the Super Bowl commercial and the guy starts playing Zelda. They show him in his kitchen while he's cooking breakfast playing Zelda. Then he plops it in the dock and plays it on his big screen HD TV. That's appealing to people, and they're really showing the strengths of the Switch. So it still has a fighting chance. I'm not just straight up saying doom and gloom for the Switch anymore because I like how Nintendo's marketing it, and I'm seeing the strong points of the Switch. However, at the same time, with limited specs may come limited third-party support, and that may make people shy away from purchasing a Nintendo Switch. You have to be real about it. Not everyone out there is going to buy every single platform like you or I may do. Okay, if you're watching this video, chances are you're a gaming enthusiast and you invest more time and money into gaming than the average person does, where the average person, they may just want to go and buy one system, and if that one system doesn't have the full library of games that they really want, they may stay away from it and buy another system and have that be their only system, their main system. And you have to keep that in mind. I know people don't want to hear that and get angry when I say that about Nintendo, but that's how the general consumer thinks. This is Richard Review Tech USA signing out. And yes, I'm still psyched for the Switch. Have a good one.
Mr. Richie. I love you, man. I love you. This is what I don't understand, Rich. In a perfect world, to have one device play all the games would be an amazing thing. I'd be there day one. That include, but you have to also include Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo exclusive titles, including all the PC games. Let's just add everything all in one. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, and you know that, Rich. You know it. But I know what you're talking about. The third-party support. This is where I can agree with you if we were talking about the same kind of console. But it's not. And you're treating it like it is. Yes, you can dock it, play it on your couch, and leave it there forever. Leave it as a home console forever. Don't ever take it out of the dock. But you can also take it with you. So to try to have all those third-party games that are as powerful, that they need a powerful hardware just like it needs for the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, means that little tablet would have to be equal or more, let's just say more equal at least, to the Xbox One horsepower. At least. But the thing is, honestly, after the release of the Scorpio, how much longer do you think they're going to keep releasing these games for both OG and PlayStation 4, or the OG PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? You said it yourself in your older videos about how one day the developers will come to Microsoft or Sony wanting to release a more demanding game that the other OG consoles can't handle. And personally, at that point, we will see the end of the 8th gen console and the beginning of the 9th gen console. It would be a slow transition, but like I've said before in my older videos, as soon as that happens, as soon as you see a game exclusive to Scorpio or Pro, the 8th gen is officially done. And the 9th gen has begun. It'd be slow, but it definitely is a fact. Okay? But then what? Let's say it is as powerful. The Switch is as powerful as the Xbox One. Let's say they did that. They're left again behind with no multiplats, just like they did with the Wii U. They were late in the game. They released the Wii U when the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 were still out. And the horsepower was only slightly better than those consoles. It failed. I'm not going to say it's the main reason why, but maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Nobody knows. It was the marketing. It was everything else. The name. It was confusing in the market. No one can pinpoint. Maybe it's all of it put together. But even if it was as powerful as the OG consoles that are already 4 years old, by the way, not to mention the high cost it would have been to make a tablet that powerful. And the battery life? Oh my. You kidding me? The Switch would fail. If they took that path, they would have just done. The tablet, done. But I have my own educated theory on this, and I've said it before in my other videos. But the Switch is not replacing the Wii U. It's replacing the 3DS. And all the developers who have made games for the 3DS for many years, and that's a lot of them, are going to be moving over to a much more powerful portable console. And just look at what the developers were able to do, okay, with such limited power on the 3DS. We were able to get such amazing games out of that little portable. They're all going to be moving over to the Switch. And we'll get those games, those kind of games, which are very welcome. Because they're, like I said, their library, the 3DS library, is an amazing one. And one thing that Nintendo has proven over and over again is that when it comes to portables, they're king. But that's my own opinion, again. And I still respect yours. And I will continue to follow you, Rich. You do a great job. And maybe one day, maybe, I'll get to your level. Maybe. Right? Well, until next time, Geekins, may the geek be with you.